Hi, this will be a replay analysis of Jesper Storm Spirit. The current patch of Storm Spirit has just lost his Null Talisman's mana regen reduction. Oh, he's kind of trash, but we can still talk about it as some Storm Spirit enjoyers. This is mid-storm. My first comment about the starting items is that you have too little gold to buy bottle before 2 minutes. If you play mid on anyone that buys a bottle, you usually want to get the bottle out and start trading with them before 2 minutes. So bottle touches you at 2, you heal back, you trade with them some more, and then you grab the rune as it spawns. Usually I do 2 branches and a set of tangos. I think that's a pretty good timing. Some people throw in a bit more, but I suck and I miss last hits, so 155 seems like a little too little. But if you're expecting someone like Pudge mid, sometimes it's good, but then I would like you to see, like, have another 2 fairy flyers, so you can trade more with him. Oh, this is a little half-assed, and I don't think you'll get it on time. Unfortunate start, and it continues to be unfortunate, but early game is not something
now the
I'm
battle
particularly
begins.
interested in.
Jax has been waiting all day for this.
Not bad. You can walk through the lane and hope you waste another hook.
Denied!
Good creep aggro.
Oh, sweet!
So around this point, I think that you could actually be playing closer to the Pudge and denying this in his face, because he is melee with very low armor. So if you are harassing him, you should be able to roast him pretty well, and you can last hit with your static remnant.
Oh, sweet!
And when it comes to this, do you get that hit? Yeah, you got both of them.
Oh, sweet!
When it comes to this, I'm a little more wary about trying to keep it out of tower range. Alright, so you can actually just hold it outside of tower range right here, and then play on your hill. And I'm more pedantic about this, not because, like, oh, you can control and zone the Pudge, although you could, but frankly, I have no confidence last hitting under tower. You got it here, which is great, but I lose so many last hits to tower, you just, you know, you could tank a couple of creep shots just to secure it.
Sweet!
You can do 2 or 3 right clicks here. You're outside of 500 range for the creeps, so it's like if you know how to support and you click them outside of 500, you get like 1 or 2 hits before the creeps come in. So you can do that here and start harassing him down. And then if you're doing it here, right? Alright, so it's like if I harass him here, this won't run under tower and I won't miss that. And if I'm going to miss something, I can always last hit it with static remnant. Not bad, but I'd like to see more of that, because she can't handle the static remnants right now. That one was kind of unnecessary. You're currently holding an overload, I think. Oh, maybe you weren't. Whatever, it's still unnecessary. Oh, I'm not sure what you're doing over here. But like, after you come here, rather than run back, you can run forward. And as long as you use these two as your hook bodyguards, you can start harassing him and start denying these two as you harass him. Because you had nothing better to do, right? You're not last hitting anything, you're not like... Yeah, I mean, that's kind of whatever. I auto-attack him and drag it down. Good. Then you can zone him from this wave, right? He wants to come over here and do this deny. And you just stand up here and you say, if you go for last hit or deny, you get a static remnant. Oh, 2-0-1 wouldn't be bad, but 1-1-1 is also good. But for a lane like this, you'd really benefit from some higher levels in Remnant, just because you can't avoid it. Against range heroes, I prefer the Overload, because it helps me secure contest creeps. Against melee, I prefer Static Remnant, because you do faster jungle, and it's not any less harass. Unless you're against Monkey King, but he's a piece of shit. You could kill him there. Oh, no. You could kill him there if you had mana. Which is sad. Oh, if you had your bottle by now, it would have happened. Holy shit, you got bottle at 48. That's so good. So right now, what I'm interested in doing is spending these 2 charges before I go for a water rune. So, if I want to spend these 2 charges, you already have enough empty mana to fill it up, but you have a surplus of health. So if you go over and you hit him and you just trade away your health before you bottle, you get the most out of your regen before you have to go pick up a rune. So I think you should be looking to right click him here. Over here, you can still harass him. You can pull him into the creeps. It'll be 3 creeps and you, 21 damage each, 23. You're 62. That is almost DD. So let's just say 63 plus 62. You'll have 125 damage on him. He's a low armor hero. You'd roast him right here, even if it's just like some right clicks. It makes it very hard for him to lane. So let's say you don't kill him because he has the tower armor. But if you get him down to like 250, how does he farm? He can't.
Couldn't resist.
Oh, what you're doing here isn't bad. You are like getting a fair amount of last hits. Even more so for bottle timing. But you aren't zoning him as much as he's letting you. And in a matchup like this, I think Pudge is so weak compared to Storm. Storm's one of the highest base damage heroes.
That'll take the wind from their sails.
But, yeah, I think just throwing in some auto attacks here would really get him out of here. I don't think anything's much going to change. I'll forward the laning stage right now.
Get out of it.
Like, after you get hooked, if you just man up to him here, I think he can't handle it. 372, 514. If he hits you and you hit him, you're gonna win. And then this rot that's hurting you is hurting him too. So he hooks you like this. If you just right click him, he loses. This guy is the real Pepega. But you need to be wanting to harass these people more. Harass them relentlessly. Trade with them relentlessly. At least it's like a favorable... This is a kill there. Oh. It should have been a kill. He was just a bit too scared of tower. It's okay. a hook would be sketchy anyways. Oh, here you can also do harass, because the tower aggro range is also 500. So if you click him here, you can have 1 or 2 shots before the tower will aggro to you. So like this is 413. How this works is
Storm spirit. Well said.
how this works is if I have like an enemy and I want to aggro creeps and I want to harass him, I shouldn't get aggro for this.
Like the wind.
Only when I attack in range do they come over. So similarly, the towers will also be the same.
Ooh, who's that handsome devil? Ooh, who's that handsome devil?
That the tower won't go on me if I attack him from outside of 500.
Without a doubt. Denied.
Even though I'm in its range. Because I keep attacking him from outside of 500. Well, let's say I'm in 500 and then I do the attack. Then it changes to me. So the aggro range of creeps is 500, and 500 is the same as from here to here. It's a range of range creep.
Here I come.
So I know that if I attack him from here, this one won't attack me. And the range of the tower is 700, but its aggro range is only 500. So I can stand inside the perimeter of aggro range without actually drawing any aggro. I mean, tower range without drawing aggro. So if I attack him from here, no aggro. And if I attack him from inside here, I get aggro.
Zip. Stormy weather time. To me.
So like this would be a great time to practice something like this. You just walking up and throwing a overload shot, then electric vortex into another overload shot, and that should zone him as well. And if you can you could screw up the tower aggro, obviously, because you don't know it right now. But this is another way you can just get off more hits.
To me.
As also don't be afraid of trying things out like this. The worst that happens is you lose.
Dire's top tower is
And
in danger.
we lose all the time.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Stuff that happens. Alright, so since you have no intention of really killing this guy, I would like to see you, just hit the farm and accelerate towards your ganking ability. I think this is maybe a little bit too many null talismans with the
Over here now.
max mana talisman.
Here I am. Blow the man
But
down.
it's okay. You're probably following an Immortal Faith guide. He never updates this shit anymore. Oh, it is what it is. You can move your null tallies up for some extra HP. The earlier it is in the game, the more HP you're gonna gain from moving out your items like that.
Haste. Stupendous.
That's okay. They're pretty cool. You can also, before you run back here, since you have the haste on already, as you're healing up here and waiting to take the second bounty, you can also look to see if top is killable, because this looks like it's in a relatively good position for you to go, and then you can just TP back whenever. And since we're past 5 minutes, I would like you to send another observer ward in preparation for this one's expiration. Usually you do it earlier, but you place the ward kind of late, so you don't feel its effects right now. But, you know, wards are great. Would be nice to have, because you are rune dependent.
Over here!
Like, you just recovered in this lane after your low HP because you found the haste. So if that ward expires and you can't find out which side you're on, you might just like screw yourself.
Dire should look to their top tower.
This is an Immortal Faith guide, isn't it?
Zip! I had it coming. Mission middle.
So I don't really like that TP because like the difference between the movements for is the after effects, right? So you had the haste earlier. Where's it? Alright, you had the haste earlier here. If you check, like, can I come up here now? Because you know you possibly get a kill or you drive the bounty away. You have a way to TP back here. But if you do it like how you're doing it now, with the TP up, now you suddenly stuck yourself with Spirit Breaker, with Slark, with Shadow Shaman, and you all are sharing the same area. So you either take the tower out right now, which it's hard because no one has mana and he doesn't have wards yet, or you all share the farm here, and then these other two lanes get shoved in and they're free farming. So because you use the TP to get up here and you don't have a way back, it just feels super inefficient because you don't want to be in this huge ball. It is okay if Hellboy TP's mid right now, and then you stay here with the other two and try to find kills. Except you would have to tell Hellboy that, and he's not necessarily better against a Pudge. And he might not do it, he might not have a TP to do it, and these two can't really help you because they're so low mana. So how you gank needs to consider a couple of things, like who you're ganking. So not just am I ganking Bounty Hunter, but how much do these people help me? So if I want to stay here, how much does Shadow Shaman help me? How much does Spirit Breaker help me? And of course efficiency. So if I leave and we successfully kill the guy, then what? Then we're like 4 people all just jacking off, and it feels bad. So you need like an afterthought. Well, now you're gonna take a long stroll back to mid, and it's gonna feel kind of sad. And now, I believe the Arcane came out. It's just you don't really know. You can send out the observer.
Deny!
I'm okay with this passive farming because you're kind of low mana. But I'd also be looking towards relieving that. So I want to see like a TP scroll sent over with 2 clarities or like a raindrop for the mana here while you are farming, so that you can start going and playing around with, like Spirit Breaker. And having fun.
Radiant's courier
I think this lane is gonna run into you. There's a lot of farm here.
has been slain in cold blood.
Oh.
Dire's bottom tower is in danger. Radiant
So now that you see that Pudge is top, you can hit this as much as you want. And I hope there's a TP school in here. Nope, that's Shaman's. Yours? Yeah, okay, you have to. You can send a couple clarities for that too, by the way. Yes.
Dire should look to their bottom tower.
I'm burning up.
Agent CM! Giving you free
Dire's
farms.
bottom tower is under a killing double kill. There is little hope. Dire
I would TP home with this actually, because then I can use the haste and gank at the same time, in coordination with how Hellboy and Shaman are dead. Alright, so it goes back to that question that I was saying earlier. Who do you want to gank? Who do you want to coordinate with? Well, if I drop down my my little scoreboard here and I take a quick gander, they're all about the same level. And they're all kind of feeding. So you can just assume that the people who would be the most help would be the two supports because they have the CC. So then you look at them. There's this guy, he's really close to 6, so he can just stay mid and get his 6. And there's this guy, he does have his 6. So he's dead. So if you TP back, like now, or maybe you just try to get as much mana as you can. He has arcanes. You want to be as healthy as possible and join him wherever he goes. He might go top, or he might go bottom. He might go mid to use serpents here. But he is the person that can help you the most right now. So I'd like you to see. I would like to see you allocate your resources, your mana and HP, based on how he moves right now. That, or you can also pick Spirit Breaker or Axe, but I just think they're less helpful right now.
should look to their top tower. Dire's bottom tower is in danger.
Haste!
Dire's top tower
That's a
is
bit
under attack.
sketch.
Radiant should look to their middle tower.
Okay, that's good.
Radiant's middle tower is no more.
Which
Dire's
lane?
top tower is in danger.
I don't mind it.
Dire's top tower is Radiant should look to their bottom tower.
Because the Spirit Breaker is already taking mid, I think you're allowed to just sit back to Fountain and find a good gank. And now, instead of coordinating with Shaman, because this is down, you can coordinate with Spirit Breaker, because this is up. Although, it's hard to make moves when you're half health.
My eternal gratitude.
Oh, well, alright.
Dire should look to their top tower.
Teamwork.
Bountiful.
Somewhere, someone lays blame.
Rather than do jungle here, I think it'd be nicer to just push this lane, because then it's going to move forward and maybe give you some information of who's farming this area, and then it also forces someone back to take this, opening up your move for bottom. Why do I want to move on bottom? Because there's everyone here, so it's just like the next thing we take. But if you don't push mid, they can defend this with 5-man, even if that's kind of a bigger for them, and it's just a lot riskier for you. So you can get more farm by pushing mid, and it makes other moves like going on bottom easier. So always push lanes first in So to help your other moves. Like you can push lanes to kill the person that comes over here. You can push lanes to make taking this easier. You can push lanes just because it's more money. So push lanes. So if I saw something like this, I would ignore it, in all honesty. Because Spirit Breaker isn't a kind of guy that is like, oh wow, he can really turn on this, can't he? Alright, so like if his health goes down to half before the stun ends, he'd charge in and then die. And then you'd be there against like 3 people or something. So I would ignore this, but let's say it's like Slark and he's shadow dancing and then he's starting to turn on them. Then I would. But Spirit Breaker being gone on here like this tells me that this guy is in more dire straits. So you get a way to hold him with Shaman, it wouldn't be so bad. Or you could just, you know, push this. I would ignore it. I would TP on this because this is a hard kill, admittedly. But if Shaman has some shackles with some mass earthing wards, you can hit him in the face, right? So rather than, you know, saying, oh, he's too tanky with Bristleback, since we have so many stuns, let's just stun him and then walk to his face and hit him.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Or the other two don't do anything. Cool. Nice. Nice team. If you stayed and you jungled this, or jungled this even, when this starts, you would be closer to do something about it.
Illusion?
And you just sort of walk in a circle.
Double kill!
Kind of weird.
I'm over here.
Axe can fight all day. Again.
Yeah. Yeah. Pudding pop.
Killing spree!
Told you a storm was coming.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Very
attack.
nice. Bit risky, just TPing like that, you know? It was good. Storm Spirit tip. When you're in base, you can do a small zip out to about here and recover all of your mana with the residual fountain rejuvenation.
Go.
I usually do it to about the extremities of the ancient. The ancients here, I'll zip like this distance. It's about 1 screen.
Dire should look to their middle tower.
With so many people behind you, the second I saw that wave of terror, you can just jump. Because you're given so much information. You know that there are people around here who are your allies. You know that these guys aren't here to help. This guy just revealed herself to you. Just jump her.
Zap. Fresh mate.
There you go.
Over here now. Looking for me. Illusion.
Good shit. Good shit. Keep going.
Dire's
Kill
top
people.
tower
There are people fighting here, man. You have to help them.
Zip zap.
Dire should
Nice.
tower.
What I missed?
Tower is in danger.
I think you can continue fighting here because these guys are like relatively weak. compared to something like Witchblade. You don't have a lot of mana, but you have full HP, so you can still kill them if you're given some good stuns. Now you just all get Janada or Visaga. It's fun.
A gift from the goddess.
I'm like an Orchid next.
There is little hope for Dire's
You know
middle
what?
tower.
I'm okay with this. It's whatever.
Radiant's bottom tower is in danger.
Oh, one thing that's pretty hard about showing here is that if like Pudge has Blink Dagger or there's a Venge in the trees, you might just die or you might spend a lot of mana to run away. So I would prefer just to go back here and start jumping. And then you're waiting for the next move you can do. This is not a move you can do. They're all spooky. What the shit? Alright. But you have to wait for your teammates to respawn before you can do a move. And I'm kind of insecure about this because, and yeah, just life. I would do these instead of these because you don't have a TP at the moment. If you had the TP up, like it was closer, you can go behind the tower and grab the next wave, and then you can also do the camps over here, which is more aggressive, you know? And then you can always, like, if they start coming over, and you're like, oh shit, they're coming over, you can come over here, cut the wave again, and then TP home.
Dire's middle tower is
That
under attack.
is what you call lane pressure,
Should look to the top. There is little hope for Dire's middle
which
tower.
people don't have
Its
enough
top
of.
tower is
Not
under
nearly.
attack. Dire's middle tower is
I'd be okay with coming over here and just nuking it, because they're still showing.
under attack. Top tower is in danger.
And then you can also do things like quickly check the Pudge and see if he has that blink threat, which he doesn't, so then you're fine.
Dire's middle tower is no more. Radiant should look.
This TP I'm not okay with, because even though he's in like a bit of trouble, I don't think that these two have the damage to turn this. What I'd really be looking for is a turn with Mass Serpent Wards, or a turn with pickoffs. If SB can do a pickoff, then this is good. If Slark can do a pickoff, this is good. But like full-on team fights with your lineup, you'll need the Mass Serpent Wards. So if there's like multiple people, I'm looking for this. And if there's only a few people, I'm looking for like SB or like Slark to follow me up. No? I think you TP over here and you can't do anything. You can see, like, even from landing phase, from how I say you're doing ganks, you continue to think about it on how you take fights. You select a resource game, right? So, none of them besides CM has like big ultimates. None of you have big ultimates besides Shaman. So, you just sort of have to like count your resources in terms of who is where and what are we good at, right? So we don't have a lot of team fight. We have more pickoffs, so we play with the pickoffs. Like you see, something like this suddenly looks a lot better, and I would TP over for it because Hellboy is building up some stacks, and they're walking into Mass Serpent Wards. I just like say, oh, I'll start the Serpents, I'll TP over, and then I'll jump the bench.
Where's the party?
Unbelievable! Dire's killing spree! Double kill!
Bit slow there. I think it was like the right idea, but you know, just being a couple seconds faster with this one can land you the Venge kill, or maybe the Bounty kill, if you're fast about it, dust about it.
Radiant structures are fortified. Double kill! Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant Radiant's top tower is no more. Killing spree! Unbelievable!
You can go deeper and start pushing down here. It's very hard for any of them to kill you because the only like instant stuns they have is Frostbite. Pudge still has no blink, and you can dodge the magic missile. Oh, you can probably farm down here and keep up this nice lane pressure.
Unbelievable! Middle tower is under attack. Dominating!
Then instead of hitting the tower here, which is already being hit by creeps, you can go over and get more farm. You can farm the next wave, which is about here, and then you can drag it into this camp and farm both the wave and the camp while they're doing other stuff.
Dyer's middle tower is under attack. Is no more.
And keep going deeper. I want you to farm behind their tier 2 and stuff, because we recognize that they don't have much for you. Okay, now they do, but it's shitty. You can outplay them.
Killing unbelievable!
No, I think you're being too cautious here. Well, after they take mid, you're kind of like, you say you don't see them, right?
Dyer's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, you're taking it while you see them, which is good,
Dyer's middle
and now you don't see them. So, before I start hiding myself, I would estimate that the time it takes to get from here to here to be about 30 seconds. Why 30? Because it takes about 30 seconds to walk from here to about here. Like, you know, at the beginning of the game, we all walk out. That takes like 30 seconds. So, I would give myself maybe 20 seconds to 30 seconds before I start hiding myself. So I have 20 seconds from now to just like rush down this wave, burst everything, and then get the shit out. And that's how I would do it. So I think that this early hiding, even if they are like, okay, let's all get Storm, and they started running down, and someone started TPing down, I would still say that you have about 20 to 25 seconds before you actually have to play like this. So then it's like, if you're fast about it, you can like just break down these groups.
Radiance.
A lot of people become like less anal about it. You see, like, this is whatever. It doesn't involve you. And you've decided that it doesn't. But these involve you. So if you zip over and make sure you don't miss these two last hits, like the extra, what is it, 80 gold? This really builds up and it really matters eventually. Or you can zip over and get these last hits. Because how many times have, like, you needed to defend a tier 3 and you've only been like, oh, I'm like 50 gold away from my my shard or something, which, you know, is what I would buy with about that much money. So yeah, you can TP back now into Fountain and do and try to zip down the wave, or you can, but I would like you to get this wave first. Oh, you come over here, take this wave, and then you can start stalling them and possibly get a pick off with your team on someone like Vengeful.
Tower is under attack. Dyer's middle tower is under attack. Dire structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I'm okay with this.
Here I am.
Bit of a monk-ass TP. Oh, because you know that they're split up right now, just zip from where you are and get her. A bit slow. I think you need to do it before Spirit Breaker realizes. But that's fine. he's living. He's a liver with a Shadow Amulet. I think if you go and help him, you can get some kills, actually. He's not weak right now. He has Echo.
I'm over here.
Bounty!
Double damage.
Oh, at this stage, they're moving quite unpredictably. Like, I don't know what they're doing up here. I don't know what your team's doing down here. But one thing, that's for sure. Venge might come over here and just take the farm, because there's free farm for her here. So, if you're playing closer, like over here, and trying to predict their movements, like you're farming this, or maybe you're farming this, the second Venge TP's over here, you can just kill her. Or maybe it's CM that TP's over here and you just kill her. If it's Pudge or BB, then you would TP bottom. But right now, you can posture to get ready for some kills because you shoved the lane.
Middle tower is under attack.
And you see, it was CM. So CM came down here to take up the farm, and she's weak and pathetic and sad. That was a free kill for you.
Dominating!
So it's very hard to predict how people do something like this, because they're just YOLOing around the map. But it's very easy to predict something like this, because people need to respond to shove waves. So if you shove wave, the randomness of stupid people becomes a little bit more predictable. So I didn't know who was going to come down here, but I knew there was someone going to come down here. So I'd hang around the area and try to make a trap for them. I would go on them if it was Venge or CM, and I would continue farming if it wasn't.
Here I am.
You can do this with a lot of people. Obviously Storm plays this style a lot better than some people, but I'll do it on anyone. I'll do it on Jug, I'll do it on Dark Willow. Anyone who has kill potential.
Mega kill!
See, my problem with this is that even if it works out in your favor, which it is, you guys didn't choose this fight. They sort of just ran at you and it happened, right? So this isn't from like you causing anything. It isn't from your teammates playing smart. It is just from your opponents playing dumb. However, if you push lanes and you can make like a play like this, like what on the CM, then that is playing smart. But something like this, you know what, you're doing fine. You kind of used up a lot of mana on your first jumps, but as you get more used to the hero, you can tighten that up, and frankly, you're fighting fine. But this is not a fight I particularly enjoy, because you guys aren't creating it.
Axe leaves you broken!
Oh. There's gonna be a bunch of people who will also push mid. So you can just leave it to them, you know, take this wave and then leave it to them. But there's not a lot of people that's going to be able to do this. I think you or Slark should run down here and push this. This way you guys can get a push on bottom and a push on mid with their defs and start taking over their jungle with some wards.
Pudding pop.
It's also like a remark that if you want to farm, like what Hellboy is doing here, it's like bad. Because they're dead for about half a minute. It's not a lot of time. You don't have enough time to take a T2. You don't have enough time to take a Roshan. But what you do have enough time to do is farm aggressively. So if you shove out the lanes, you force them to be stuck there, right? If the lane is here, while they respawn, they have to come here and take the farm. If the lanes aren't pushed out, then they can just go ganking again, or maybe they can go Roshan. You don't know what they're going to do. They're unpredictable. So pushing out the lanes makes them predictable on their respawn, and you can also take this jungle. So, like, you know, he's farming, and that's great, but he could farm here. He could farm here. He could farm behind the tier 2 here. So he's given the whole map for while they're dead for this 30 seconds, but he's doing this. So imagine they all respawn in 20 seconds, right? And they want to farm, and they're like, I'm close on item, let me farm. And it's just empty, because you just farmed there and left. So you want to try to take the most aggressive thing possible every time they die. Right now, you're so far behind that you don't have enough time to get any objectives, but taking over their parts of the map is like the next best thing. Even if it's only some shitty camps and then you leave. Because your jungle is always going to be here for you. Their jungle, which is available for you now, won't. Oh, those snakes are terrible. So, this is a lost fight. It is very hard for you to kill the BB, even with a stun. But without a stun, I don't think you can. So, what you want to do is some stall tactics. You can come down here and help the Slark, or you can just try to kill the Maiden. And if they both live, you need to shove the waves so that your enemies don't get any material. They don't get to take out your T3 in the death time of your two allies. So you want to start split pushing right now, or try to find a different pickoff. So right now I would be quite worried about them being like here. So I would just get my full mana and then try to do a long zip down and take out the wave. Or they could be doing Roche. So I would need to see them first before I start zipping. So this looks pretty shit to me, because the two stunners are right there. I mean, like, if they're playing like this, there's probably, like, if I go on them without seeing Pudge or seeing CM, then I just die. So what I want to do here is just zip through everything and meet the new wave, like somewhere over here.
Tower is under attack.
So whether you're playing, you know, like Storm Spirit, who is very easy to do it on, or like anyone else, like Tiny, or like Shadow Shaman. If you're Shadow Shaman and you're in the same scenario, you can buy a smoke, walk around, and stop the creeps over here, and then the wave is cut and they can't push anymore. Because these guys, they're being stupid, right? If they want to break high ground, they should push two waves. They should have grabbed this wave as it came out. But because they're stupid, and they're only pushing one, it allows plays like if Shadow Shaman had like a Blink Dagger, or he just smoked and walked around, to stop their push completely. However, you're on one of the greatest heroes for it. You're Storm Spirit, you can just zip past them, destroy the wave, you get your backdoor back after about 15 seconds, and you're all hunky-dory. 15 seconds will be enough time for Slark to respawn, and you can start killing them.
Dire's middle tower is no more. Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
Ho-ho!
This is double kill. Deal. Monster kill. Monster kill. Double kill.
Touche!
You fight great, by the way.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I love the target prioritization on, you know, the bounty and the bench.
Stupendous!
Really good stuff. What are you doing? People are dead. You go for the push. You know, you get some material and you farm their jungle. So, right now this is Pepe.
Killing spree.
Like, Axis died, but I'd argue that's because he's like a little bit alone and he's not like respecting the fact that he's alone. You guys should go with him, and you guys should also start taking over some of their spots. So you also see them moving his 4. What this tells me is that they're also not farming efficiently. So if you zip over here right now, there's no one pushing this wave because they're all together being stupid. If you zip down here, then you also get the tower, and their group of 4 needs to split up then. So what they're doing right now is really bad, and I'd like you to start split pushing.
Radiant's top tower is
Cool.
under
Now here's another thing. Because Spirit Breaker is global and he started doing it, what I just said to do, when they split up, like, maybe they'll TP back Punch, or maybe they'll TP back CM to stop Spirit Breaker's push. If it's not someone like Bristleback, you can kill them with the Spirit Breaker. So I need you to be, like, coming closer over here in anticipation for them coming over down here. And this is because they're predictable now, because their waves are being pushed in. They have to do a move. It was a CM. If you were down here, it would have been a free kill.
Double damage.
Whoa! You're right over here now! Zap!
Man, this CM's terrible.
Dive's top tower is under attack. Dive's top tower is flooded.
Come over here!
Bit early on the BKB, but I don't mind it.
Holy shit!
You double warning!
Dive's top barracks has fallen.
I blew it!
Killing spree! Killing spree!
Oh. Huh.
Where's the party? Sit over here! Zap! Looking for me? You're right!
Double kill! Killing spree! Kill!
That's for me.
Dive's bottom tower.
He probably lose just to being under farm now. So there's a lot to unpack probably here. Personally, I think that you played really well in contrast with your team, but you aren't making a lot of plays based on how you would predict your opponents to move. Like, you're very reactive. You're like, oh, there was a fight, do I help? And then you just like go in and you try to fight your best. Thankfully, you've been playing against the real Papegas, or maybe not the Papegas, I don't know. This guy was pretty bad, this guy was pretty bad. You know what, they're all pretty bad except for BB, he was like, okay. So, because you're not predicting them, even though sometimes you're making scenarios where they're really predictable. Like, you're not pushing as much as I want you to, but you are pushing. So there are some times, like when I was trying to predict, hey, there's going to be someone that's going to come over here, that you can make a play on it. But you never do it. You're only making plays once your team gets jumped. So that's not so great, because it puts the initiative of the game in the hands of your opponents, and they're doing the jumping. Obviously, not all of their jumps are good, but as you get better, they eventually will be, and it is best not to give them this kind of initiative. The other thing is in lane, this Pudge is trying to commit suicide to you, honestly, but you're not harassing him, even though you're range and he's melee. So against someone like Death Prophet, maybe you're more justified if she's hitting you back and you're having a hard life. But in this matchup, you really should amp up your aggression. So I think it was pretty well played. I don't actually have comments over the build because Storm Surge is just a weirdo right now. But I thought you fought pretty well. You have some pretty good target prioritization. And you really should find like other ways to start making plays rather than just reacting to them. Yeah, that's it.